All right, what's up, everybody? This is T here. What's up? What's up? Back with a new video. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to make this video real short and sweet, straight to the point. So the topic of discussion is gear that I would recommend for anybody that's starting out in filmmaking, a little bit of photography, but you're kind of like on the fence and you don't know what gear to buy, what lenses, camera, etc., etc. So I'm gonna go over that. You know what I'm saying? Things that I believe anyone should buy in the beginning as they go along. So this video would be geared towards, I would recommend, if you're the type of person like you have an interest in something and you're thinking about making money off of it, I still recommend that you listen to this video. You know what I mean? But if you're like thinking about it as a hobby, maybe this video is not for you, but you never know. Your hobby could turn into something that makes some money. That's kind of like what happened to me. Camera. Now, you don't need like a $2,000, $3,000 camera starting off. You know what I'm saying? What I recommend is get a camera under $1,000. Right now, I'm recording on the A6300. You know what I'm saying? And I got an A7 III. But don't get this yet up until you understand how to use the camera and you start making a little bit of money, right? So when I first started out, I was looking at the Fuji X-T2 at the time, or was it the X-T3, Sony A6000, A6300, A6500, and it was the GH5 or the GH4, I think at the time, right? The Panasonic. So I ended up getting a Sony A6300. It came with a 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens. It came with a tripod and a lot of extra trinkets. And that cost me under $1,000. It was about 900 or so. But the Sony A6300 camera by itself, you could get it used for like $400 or $500. You know what I'm saying? Just with the body, right? So, when you're first starting out, don't get you a super expensive camera. Get you something cheap. My preference is get something in a bundle so you get everything that you need, all at once. Like I said, mine came with a tripod. It came with the kit lens. It came with some other good stuff, an extra battery. So that's something that I would recommend. Get you a bundle, but keep it cost effective so that when you start learning your camera, you get some more clients, you get some money. Now you can start thinking about, upgrading your gear to something more higher end, but you don't need to worry about that camera thing right now. All right, so that leads me to my next point, which is lenses. You know what I'm saying? So right now, like I said, I got a Sony A6300. So two lenses that I would recommend off bat, being that this is a crop sensor lens, is the Sigma 30mm 1.4, which gives you about a medium focal length, which is what I'm recording on right now. And then you can opt for the Sigma 16mm 1.4 as well, which has the equivalent of a 24mm lens because it's on a crop sensor. And the 30mm Sigma is the equivalent of about a 45mm lens because it's on a crop sensor. That crop factor is about 1.5. You know what I mean? So the Sigma will run you like around, close to 3 or a little bit over. This will run you at about 400, a little bit over. So that's what I would recommend. You know what I'm saying? Get you some cheap, starter lenses, prime lenses that you could start with. Don't get no $1,000, $2,000 lens, $3,000 lens, and you don't know what the hell to do with it. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't put all that money on the front end. Get you something cheap. Get you something manageable, okay? That you could learn your gear. You know what I'm saying? Learn your gear. Don't buy none of this expensive stuff and you working to pay it off. That don't make no sense. But on any other, camera, You know, you got cheaper brands like Rokinon. You know, Rokinon. You got you know, Sam Yang. You know, and you got Sigma that makes lenses of a cheaper quality, I would say. The images are really good. You know, these lens manufacturers, they making some real good stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you could still get decent quality without really breaking the bank. And then it brings me to my next alternative, which is vintage lenses. If you're really trying to save some money and you ain't trying to shell out, you know, a couple hundred and stuff like that. This is actually the Canon FD millimeter 1.4. This ran me like around, I would say $40 to $50. I also got a 1.8. That 1.8 ran me about $25 to $30. If you don't want to spend too much on, you know, these electronic like prime lenses, you can always settle for like, you know, vintage lenses. I just recently shot a music video with that, you know, with the I had a sheesh, the name escapes me, but I had a vintage prime lens. It was 28 millimeter, you know, 2.8, and the image just came out crisp. So, you know, like I said, you got to train your eye and learn your gear. Lighting, right? Because if you're gonna shoot, you might be indoors, you might be outdoors, but you want to get good exposure, right? I recommend 2 lights starting out under $100. You got this, which is the Yagnuo 360. This ran me about $60 on Amazon. And then you have the Aperture, I believe this is the M9. This is the AL Amaran M9. This ran me about $40 at Adorama, and it's done some wonders for me, man. It's done some wonders for me. So, you know, that's probably one of the most important parts of filmmaking or photography, man. It's your lighting. If your lighting is off and you indoors and you don't know how to expose it properly, your image is gonna look like shit, period. You know what I mean? Shit, trash, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna look like trash. It's gonna look like shit. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that your lighting is proper. But like I said, if you got a small budget and you don't really got much to spend, you know, you could go with this. You know what I'm saying? The Yagnuo, you know, pretty good. You know, you could switch it from tungsten. You can switch it from tungsten to daylight. Get a daylight balance. You know what I'm saying? And I got my M9 right now facing me. You know, and I still rock with these, man. I still rock with these. You know, you're talking about what, $90, $100 for 2 lights. This has come up really big on certain shoots, and I still use it to this day, man. A lot of professionals use these too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I recommend. You feel me? And if you got a little bit more money, and let's say you got $200-300 laying around, I recommend this, the Godox SL100. It's about 100 watts. It ran me about $200. I got it with a softbox and everything. So, I mean, if you got a little bit extra to spend, you know, I recommend this. But if you don't, wait till you get a little bit of money and, you know, you can break that bank. Next thing I want to talk about is stabilizers. Right now, I got a Ronin RSC2, and this ran me about a couple hundred. You know what I'm saying? A couple hundred. But how would I say this? Like, now, the reason why I'm gonna include this in the video is because some of y'all are gonna want to do music videos, or y'all gonna want to do travel. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to do, you know, just filmmaking in general. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna do stationary work. A lot of people that's on here, they're gonna want to do things that's on the move. So I highly recommend that you get a stabilizer, you get a gimbal. So with stabilizers, you can go 2 ways. You can either get a steady cam, right? You got the weights, it's completely manual. You just gotta learn how to balance it. And these are inexpensive. You could get these for like you know, $70, $80 on Amazon. Maybe some like that's more sophisticated or run you up in the hundreds. But for starting, I shot my first music video with this actually. And I mean, it did me no wrong, you know. Big shouts to Keys. He's the one that hooked me up with this. And if you got a little bit of more money to spend, if you got some more money, then you could just go with something like this, right? Which is more mechanical. I mean, obviously I didn't set it up, but like I said, this is the RS-C2, and it ran me about a couple hundred, about $5, I would say, yeah, $5. And or you can, you know, go with a cheaper. You could get you something used, you know, something used. You could get a you know, Zhiyun or a cheaper Ronin for about, you know, $250, you know, 150 used. You know, you could find some good deals if you look around. So this is probably another important part of your filmmaking gear, right? Especially if you're gonna be out there, let's say, filming interviews. Let's say you want to start your own podcast, or you want to start your own YouTube channel. So this is probably important. Right now, I'm actually talking on a lavalier mic. So that's what's picking up on the sound right now, which is the lavalier. And it's actually a Sennheiser, right? So this is like big bang, you feel me? Don't even consider this when you try to start out, trust me. But you could get a Rode, man. They got the Rodes. Those are like pretty inexpensive. I think they're about $2 or something like that, 200. I got the Zoom H4n. It's like a whole other setup. But for starters, I recommend this. I've used this on a couple of my YouTube videos too. This is the Rode Video Mic NTG. This ran me about $250. Now you can get something cheaper, but this right here is the ish, you know what I mean? This is the shit right here. And yeah, man, your sound got to be on point. That's the most important part. A lot of you guys, y'all gonna start YouTube channels, y'all gonna do certain video stuff. You do need to have your microphone on point. So this right here, you know, if you got some money to spend, get this, right? And yeah. Another thing is filters. Filters. This is another important thing, is your filters. Now, if you're shooting outdoors, right? Whether it's photography, whether it's film, if you don't have this, if you don't have a variable, oh, this is the wrong filter. If you don't have a variable ND filter, your outside shots are just toasted, you know what I'm saying? So you need to get you a variable ND filter when you shoot outdoors. If you're shooting in the daytime, you need that. If you're shooting at night, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're shooting in the daytime, you're gonna need this right here. You know, if you notice, when I put it over the lens, it actually turns my image darker. But I don't really need this, man. I don't need this because, you know, I'm indoors, you feel me? And it's not too bright in here. But if I was outside, yeah, all of those images that you see me shooting outside and all those videos in the daytime and I'm getting good exposure, is because of this. Now this right here is now they go by Unearth or something like that, or Earth, but they used to be called Gold. And this is the ND2 to 400 variable ND filter. It's a 67 millimeter variable ND filter, but you can get some cheaper ones. I used to shoot on a Vivitar. That shit cost me like $20. You know, I shot on it for like a year and a half. So, and I got some good images. But when I had to upgrade, I wanted something more quality. So I got the Gold. This ran me, I think, close to like, I think $75 or something like that. But yeah, you know, if you're starting, I would recommend the Vivitar. Vivitar is pretty good. I got that somewhere here, but yeah. And then comes the black Promise filter. Now this right here, if you ever looked at some of my videos and you notice like this bloomy soft effect, it's because of this right here. So what this does is this, you know, softens, let's say, you know, you're shooting outdoors, right? And you get these really, really hard lights, right? Hard, you know, if you have like a hard light, if you're indoors, whatever, and you want to soften it, you just throw this on. And you probably don't really see the difference, but I'll show you. I'll show an example. I'll show you an example right now, the difference, okay? I mean, now it looks kind of soft, but you can't really see it. But if you look closely, look, I might even do like a side by side or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you notice, look. Get you some really, you know, get you a variable ND. That's the like this right here, like this ProMist, it's not a necessity. However, a variable or like a standard ND filter, this is necessary. There's no excuses. You need this. Another recommendation is tripod. Now, I can't show you the tripod that I got now, but I recommend that you get a tripod, especially if you're doing YouTube, because right now that's what I'm talking to you on, is a tripod. You know, if you want to, you know, shoot something outdoors and you want a real stationary shot, tripod. Everybody needs a tripod. There's no excuses. Get you a tripod. You can get you a tripod for about, you know, $50 or so. So get you a tripod, man. Like, you know, get you a nice sturdy one too, starting out. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna get too technical with it. That's it for today's video. I gave you guys a list of recommendations. If you want links to those, that's gonna be in the bottom below. You know, you got a set of Amazon links or eBay links, whatever works for you, right? So yeah, that's it, man. That's it for my video. I'm gonna see y'all next time. And if you guys are interested in keeping in touch with me, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, you know what I mean? Subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, leave me a like. And if you're interested in my free LUT pack, okay, you can sign up to my newsletter. And once you sign up, I'm gonna send you guys a link to my LUT pack. It's about 4 LUTs in there. So y'all highly recommend it. That's actually what I used on my video right here. So I ain't never gonna send y'all something I ain't gonna use myself. So yo, we'll see y'all next time. You guys take care. C1, take 1, action. I always wanted to do that, yeah.